Let me start maybe when I was finalizing high school. I studied at IPRC Kigali, electronics and telecommunication. Going there, I didn't know what it is about. I thought it's something about computers or computer science. I went into what I can call hardcore electronic engineering. By the end of it, I don't know if it's engineering or what, I had this idea that I may not go to university and follow entrepreneurship. By the end of 2013, back then I thought starting a business is just going to RDB, register a business and start. So that's how everything started. Like I went straight from high school to registering a company. I remember I went to Musanze, so I thought I was registering a company to do some electrical installation and things like those, maybe solar and everything. I went to Musanze and I pitched my idea to a landlady who had a very tall building, and she said, okay, I can give you a small space. When you get money, you're young, you will pay me, I believe in you. And then I went to my father, he gave me some money, like 30K. I set up an office. I thought if I go to the office, customer will come. I didn't know how to get customer and everything. And then after 1 week, I was still asking my father for transport fare. And he was like, you're starting a business, you're still asking me money. That's how I quit the first business actually. I said, okay, this is not going to work. Yeah, after 1 week, exactly. And then, yeah, somehow I got a job at a printing house and I met graphic designers. My first serious thing I delivered was design, self-taught graphic design. And after like 1 year, by the end of 2015, I started freelancing, then started an advertising agency. Somehow along the way, I was doing it in parallel to trying to having a product that solves a problem. And we tried a lot of things, and eventually we ran out of money. And after running,
I want to pause you there for a moment.
Okay.
Because you know, if you ask any child who's in high school, you know, I myself was in high school at one particular point in time. It's like they've made this journey for us, right? It's a trajectory that we're supposed to follow, and it's surprising to see someone who got out of the norm. You know, you go to primary, go to high school, and then go to college or university, then get a job. Why did you feel that that third step was not important? Why did you jump straight into starting a business?
I always wonder why I did it too. This is what I think is the reason. So my mother is a teacher, and my father, he's a teacher too. And I think somehow they made me hate school.
Was it too much?
It's not too much
studying
I
while
think,
you were at home?
I think I'm an independent person. So I will go to school in the first term. I just go to school and maybe be the 10th of the class in a 30 people class. And they were like, no, this is not good. And then they push. In the second term, I try my best. Maybe I'm the third in the class, and in the last term, I'm the first of the class. And they're like, good for you. I'm like, why? I know I can do it, but why am I doing it? So by the time I was maybe in senior 5, like the 5th year of high school, I was like, these guys pushed me my whole life. But why am I learning maths? Why? I'm not going to be a doctor. Like, I know being a doctor, you have to go to university and do all those things. But I want to do business. I don't want someone always on me. I want to solve problems. And I was like, I need to find a way not to follow this path. So I think that's how it came. So naturally, I like to talk to people. I think when you're talking to people, you realize that there is a lot of problems you can solve in the world. And I think that's what made me want to jump straight in. Like, I believe that no one has everything figured out. If professors, my parents and everyone don't know what to do with life, let me go figure it out. I don't need anyone teaching me how to figure it out. So
now you mentioned your parents were teachers, and you know I've been around teachers, and there are people who kind of impose things, which is great because it's a skill you need to teach. Now your parents were teachers. How did they perceive it or receive it when you said, you know what, I'm not going to college, I'm going to do things on my own? You mentioned your father giving you money to start a business. Was it something that he encouraged, where they like, go follow your dreams, or there was some resistance?
remember I mentioned he gave me 30K. That was like $50. So it's a very small money. He was like, this guy is here. He wants to try this thing. Let him try it. It was not like he is encouraging me to pursue something else. The good thing is, when I finished high school, I never went back to live with my parents. Like, I went and started figuring out life on my own.
Rent? You know?
Yeah,
And
that's a tricky one. Like, my mother gave me 1 month worth of rent and some money for food, and then I figured it out. Like,
was it doing your business, or you had
no, like, I was doing a little bit of everything that will feed me. So that's how it started. So by the time people were registering to university, my parents would call me, and I will never pick up the call until the registration season is done. And then they're like, why did you do it? I'm like, next year. Next year I do the same. Next year, until like after 3 years, and they realized
this guy is not going to go.
Yeah. To this day.
Yeah. You mentioned you started a marketing agency, was it? Take me through that. You go from doing, you know, engineering stuff and then marketing. How did you get there?
There's this guy, he was a friend. He connected me with an entrepreneur, and he said, this guy knows engineering, so you're an entrepreneur, so just use him.
And this was when?
2014, like start of 2014. So we would go to district offices, screening computers and everything. But the day I met that guy, he didn't know how to assess me. He was an entrepreneur, but he didn't know anything about computers. So he had a friend. We met, and he was like, I'm going to give you a quick interview. And we chatted and chatted. And actually, we became a friend. Like, with the guy who is interviewing me, who is not the one who is giving me a job. Remember, the guy who gave me a job, somehow, he never paid me anything. That guy who gave me an interview was starting a small printing shop. He called me one day. I was like, can you come and help me? I got there. He gave me something to deliver, some printed papers to deliver somewhere. I delivered them. Then he gave me money, and he was like, I'll give you 2,000. Back then it was like $3 a day. I didn't have anything else to do, and I was living on my own. So I started coming to his shop every day. Every day he gave me 2,000. Until I noticed that there are people who comes there with just a laptop, get like $50 for 3 hours of work. I was like, these guys, what are they doing? And I asked them. So one guy, he's a good friend of mine, he told me, you just need to learn graphic design. I was like, where do I start? He said, I don't know. So I started, back then internet was...
It was not very much accessible everywhere.
Yeah, so there is another guy who gave me like a bunch of Photoshop tutorials. And I went and watched them, tried them. Like during the night I would try and watch them, but I realized it's not going to work. Like I will memorize what someone did, and by the end of it, I can't do something of my own. And I went to the other guy, and he was like, but I tried. He was like, find a book. So that's how I first found the first graphic design book. I read it, and by the end of it, I was able to produce a logo and something, and someone can pay me like $20. That was a lot of money. And I was like, okay, now I was earning $2, it's $20. This is nice. So that's how it started. And I think after 6 months, I hired my first friend called Pascal as a first employee. And yeah, we started like that. We bought a first camera, and after 6 months, we were like, there's this magazine called the Service Mag. It's no longer in print, but we were owning everything apart from writing. Like they would send us articles, and then we own everything from photography until we hand it over to print. So somehow I became like a project manager, the same time as a creative director, graphics, like everything, because we were a very small team. And then we started getting more customer, and we grew the team to maybe 6 full-time people and some freelancers.
And at this point, did you feel that that was it? Because, you know, when people start businesses and they get successful, they, you know, tend to say, you know what, I'm following this niche. I'm not going to endeavor in other things.
Actually, that's a good question.
Why did you stop there?
That's a good question. It's not like I stopped. It was like I wanted to solve something.
But you were solving something.
Yeah,
I was clients and
I was
and
solving
marketing.
something, but I always felt like I'm doing more and we are not growing. So I started looking for answers. I remember there's this book called 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. It said, if you're doing like you have a restaurant, you may find yourself using the same energy as someone who is running a very big company. And I was like, the issue is not that you're not an entrepreneur, it's whatever you're working on. That's how it started. Like it clicked. I was like, I'm doing a lot. Sometimes even paying for my employees is hard, so I need to do something else. And I was like, I'm not going to kill this. This is the cash cow. We are getting the cash through advertising and marketing. So I was like, okay, we need to try having a product. And that's how I got to know how you build products. Like you need to find a problem and everything. So go through problems and everything. And from there, that's how the idea of somehow letting the agency fade away while we build something started.
So the agency is fading away. And now you're looking into a product. Where was your mind at? Did you think I need to build a physical product because it'll sell easy? Did you think, you know, maybe I need to provide another service?
So
After that,
internet was new, and you know we are always watching what working elsewhere, and we're like, we can use it here. So it was clear that whatever I want to solve is around a pain point people have, but using internet. That was the idea. And we started. I remember the first idea we tested was, what if we had a blog and we are telling the story through pictures? And yeah, we tried it, and we got a couple of visitors. We wrote like maybe 10 stories, and we're like, yeah, this is working, but how are we going to make money? And like, this is going to be another agency. It's not even solving a real issue. And then we're like, what if we build a platform? People use it to buy and sell. So that's when Jumia, it was like 3 years before the IPO. So they were restructuring the business. And we're like, what if we had this product and we own end-to-end delivery? Like you get suppliers, people order, and then you deliver, and then, yeah, it's a big platform. And we tried it. We actually built the platform in like 12 months without talking to any customer. And we always iterated without talking to customer. And I remember by the last, like by month 13, we launched a very good launch. And we were doing something similar to drop shopping, but it was not drop shopping. We owned the entire pipeline. And after like 2 days or 1 week, we got maybe 2 customers. customers, and we're like, okay, this is not working. Looking back now,
That's after a whole year of building.
yeah, like, because I was just building. Like, I would
For the purpose
take
of
my
building,
money
yeah.
and then invest in this building, like a small research and development of that small agency. And by, like, when we launched, we're like, this is not working. And we said, okay, on to the next one. So we scrubbed the whole thing, and we're like, okay, let's go back and see
Go back
what
to
we
the
can
drawing board.
build.
Now, you just hit it on this, and obviously that's like trying so many businesses. And if you look back now, what are some of the mistakes that you made that you think, you know, eventually it got you to where you are?
Yeah.
But then again, if you had to go back, you'd do things differently. So, what are some of the mistakes that you made early on, even from your, you know, engineering businesses that you started with 30K, as you said?
Okay, when I was young, I didn't have anyone to learn from. Like, my parents, they were not successful businessmen, and I don't know anyone in the family. I would say this guy tried business and maybe became successful. So it was like I was trying things, and then I will fail. Like, I was not failing, like failing. I was failing forward. Like, I started with 0, and then if I'm failing, but I'm getting like 1,000 USD per month, I'm like, I'm okay, I'm just on the path. And someone said you always connect the dots backward. By maybe 2017, I realized that I had broad experience in so many things. Like, imagine by 2017, I've directed commercials, I've designed, like, not just designing, doing everything and send magazine to print, including post, print things like events to distribute them, be able to advertise them. Like, I had a lot of knowledge. And with trying to build products, I was actually a product manager. So it was like, I didn't have a certificate, but I've tried a lot of things, and I lived. I hired people. I was like, okay, did I fail? But it's like,
upwards.
yeah, it's like I was paying maybe tuition, and then
For the
getting
learning.
for the learning. So whenever I look back at it, I always feel like it's the process. Yeah, like in Africa in particular, no one is going to take money and invest in you and wait for you to learn. I think that was the issue when I started. I was not pitching anyone. Like, I would see where the money is coming and I followed the path. That's why I was like, starting, I don't get the money, start something else, but along the way, I think I learned. And it came later. I found out that all the knowledge I got is useful, because I think by 2019, after COVID, that's when I got my first job. Like, I got employed somewhere. And when I got employed, I was like, what am I going to do here? So I used to think that being an employee, you just have to have this, like, certain criteria. And then when I started, I realized, okay, it's the same thing. I would just go to the job and do this and this, and I was actually working in startups, and they hire me as a designer. 1 year I'm a product manager, another year I'm this and this. So I figured out that, I didn't follow the conventional path, but along the way, failing and doing this and this, I learned a lot of things, and I'm contributing to even other people's business and everything.
Now, you just said something interesting, and said you got your first job, but you don't strike me as someone who would go and look for a job based on what you said. You know, you're an entrepreneur, someone who likes to solve things, who likes to look for solutions. And well, a 9 to 5 is typically not that. You're simply working for someone else. Why the sudden change? Why the sudden change of heart?
So that's a good question. Remember when I said that we tried an e-commerce? It was hard to build. Back then, even integrating payment was hard, but we did it. So by the end of it, was like I was a very good technical product manager and a businessman, but on the business side, I was not that good because I took the decision to scramble it even if we had customers. But when we stopped it, we said, let's try something else. That's when we tried this Nilefy thing I'm going to work on, starting in 2026. And when we started it, as I said, we let the agency work, the advertising agency, fade away. Like I started focusing seriously on this thing because I had a feeling I found a problem that many people were facing. Because back then in Kigali, getting 2 GB of data would cost you a lot of money. Like $2 was a lot. People were using modems and everything. And now it's cheap here, but
easier.
I'm sure somewhere else it's still an issue. So I felt like this is a serious problem. I'm going to solve it. And as I said, I love challenges. So it was both technically challenging and business-wise it was challenging because now I was feeling like, how am I even going to pull this off? Because video is a very serious niche with people with PhDs and everything. Then we tried it for 6 months. I remember from the time we said we are going to work on this to the time we said we are posing this, it's like 6 months. So we were focusing on it, and with the agency we had some issues with one customer, like didn't pay us well, and somehow my then co-founder, he was doing all the technical stuff for me. I was focusing on the business side. He had some like new responsibilities, and he was like, I need a salary, a good one. I was like, you're not going to get that. And I remember everything was going fine except for the money. And I told him, okay, so this is where it ends. I was like, yeah, this is where it ends. I was like, what do we do? I was like, you started it, so keep your thing, keep everything, IP and everything, but I don't know how you're going to continue it. I was like, okay, maybe I'll find a way. So I remember I said goodbye to the last 2 employees we had, and then I told them, yeah, this is it. And I was in marriage, like 6 months old in marriage. And I remember I sold everything in the office and I told my wife, let's go and cross the office. Whatever is left there, we'll bring it home. So we went there, we closed it, and I went home. The next morning, I didn't know what to do. I was not technical enough to continue what that guy was working on. And I spent like 1 year not knowing what to do until someone called me and said, I saw your portfolio on Behance. Can you come and design for me? I said, yes. And then I went there, became a designer, helped the company with a lot of other things. And while I was working there, I saw this company called Ampersand. And trust me, I was very down. I would never even think of going back to entrepreneurship. And when I saw it, I would, everyone was against the idea of starting something hard in Rwanda. And I saw this company building motorcycles and batteries and swap stations. And when I talked to them, they were building the software as well. I was like, okay, this is the kind of work I would like. They are doing everything, and everything is integrated. And
So you resonated with that.
yeah, like it was like, this is good. Like I didn't know if I was going to go back to entrepreneurship, but I said this is a good business. And I remember I texted the CTO on LinkedIn. He got back to me, and I started working there, like making small T-shirts. And like 3 months later, I joined as a UX designer to design the software that runs everything. I was the first UX designer on the team. Actually, we were forming the team. Like they had an MVP, like what we call minimum viable product, trying to scale it. So that's when I joined. I started there, and yeah, it felt great. So the reason I mentioned that is working there, that's when the idea of working on something hard came back again.
So the passion.
Yeah, the passion. So they gave me a space to solve problems. So when a startup is funded, it's different from the other background I told you. When I was trying things, if I don't get money, I close it. Here, they were a customer. Like, you know, in Kigali Motors, there's guys who are riding motorcycles as a business. A lot of them.
So the customer base was there.
Yeah. And we were giving them batteries, and they should get the batteries with the same experience as going to petrol station. That's a serious issue, like serious problem to solve. So we would go through many iterations, and I would design something, or I would like own the product as a product manager, and then I see the outcomes. Like maybe there is this swap process, you shrink it from 3 minutes to 1.5 minutes. So like, okay, this is working. That's when I said, my whole life I was not failing. I was just quitting things without realizing that they're working. So here, I'm trying things, I see the results. So I need to go back to this thing, but now with my newfound way of working. Try something, iterate on it, talk to customer, make sure it's working.
So do it right this time.
Yeah.
Now I want to take you a bit on a personal note. You mentioned this was around the time you were getting married.
Yeah.
And you know, when most people get married, they want to settle.
Yeah.
You are here taking risks, you know, like someone who is in that, you know, early 20s, that's what we always say. In that version where we have, you know, the space for error. And you're taking risks. And how, did that at all impact your, you know, your relationship with your marriage? Did you feel like you needed to settle, or you know, the time for taking risk was over? You know, talk me through that.
During the whole time that I closed my business and said, I'm going to try something else, I realized something about myself. I'm not someone who settles and say, I'm just going to work for this company my whole life. It's like when I do that, it feels very miserable. When I work on something for like 3 months and becomes a routine, I'm like, I need to find something else.
It gets boring.
Yeah, it's boring. So even when I'm working on other people's product, I try to do it in an entrepreneurial fashion. Like taking risks, calculated of course, and make sure I'm feeling the heat. So I realized that it's not easy to always get a job like that, because it's not your company. And I said, I need to find a way to go back and be me, because I believe that in life, when you're not doing what you should be doing, you end up being miserable. And when you become miserable, I don't know, living life without you being you, I think it turns you into something you will not be happy with. And I'm not, as I say, the big fan of convention. Like
The conventional.
yeah, like conventional. Like I always think that even old people, they were figuring things out. So to the question you asked, so I have to convince even my wife that I will take care of my responsibilities, but let me be me.
She wasn't demanding you to, take a job, settle. You're a man now.
I think, actually, when we first started dating, I was trying out like the other thing of letting the advertising agency fade away and then build a product. It was hard. So I think she gets me. So she understands that to be me, I have to try things. And yeah, she's supportive.
She gets you.
It's not that.
Yeah. Well, to everyone listening, please get someone who gets you. So now, Nilefy. How did that come about?
We were looking for a problem that a problem that a lot of people are facing. And I've never thought that it's going to be video. We were watching this series called Silicon Valley. And the whole series is based on one guy named Richard Hendricks. He's compressing all the files in like a lossless compression manner. And then when we were watching it, we're like, okay, this is an interesting concept. So I would say we were nerds and we said, let's learn compression. It was fun. Like we said, how does compression work? We started learning and somehow we hit a wall. We're like, okay, everything in this space has been discovered. And somehow, as I said, I've been doing a lot of things that sometimes I break problems into smaller problems to the extent I can find a way around things. So I remember we went to a drawing board and I was like, what if we don't compress all the files? Let's focus on video. Like, it's the most painful thing. So we used to buy a 4G bundle for 1 month for like $60. And every morning we will use it and we finish the daily limit by 11 a.m. We're not allowed to watch videos at work because it was expensive. It was like, okay, video is the biggest thing on the internet. Like, and remember I said when I started learning graphic design, I was watching tutorials. I was like, okay, let's focus on video. We went on the drawing board and somehow we figured out a way to do it. Like, I remember I wrote an algorithm and we were checking Photoshop because I said I can do design. And we were looking at frames and we were like, if you do this and this, do we get this exact frame, the pixel and like something like that? And then like that, the idea came just through us high on coffee on the board. And yeah, we started it and like 6 months later, we had a first demo.
So you talk about Nilefy and what you do, and I want to take you, if you look at the most startups in Kigali, if you visit something like Norsken, our Silicon Valley of Kigali, there's a lot of revolutionary ideas, but ideas which don't last more than a year because, well, they just took something, changed the name, adjusted a few product features and, called it something new. There's a lot of video compressing services out there. If I had something of 1 GB, I can pay a few dollars and have it reduced to 500 MBs. What makes Nilefy different?
Okay, that's a good question. But I'll start with what you mentioned. I think in Rwanda and in Africa at large, people are innovating. And I noticed that the model is different from Silicon Valley, I would say we are more lean and trying, even if it's something someone else did, you tailor it to the local market. That's why you will find a lot of USSD applications, this star, number and hash, because that works here. So it's not like most of the guys are copying and pasting. If you do that, you won't survive, because here it's very different. So coming back to Nilefy, when I talk about Nilefy, everyone thinks it's a new compression software. I don't know.
That's precisely what I thought.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's not. And right now, I would not say how I do it, but basically it's not compression. Now we are starting with streaming. That's how we prove the concept and try to solve the issue for a real business and help real customer. Then we will evolve it. But I would say it's not compression per se. Yeah, like we are trying to, I would say, invent another type of product, like another category of product, which is not compression per se. It's like we've hit the ceiling in compression, and the new compression or the new codecs in video will use more AI, which means they're in the future because the current smartphone cannot handle that. And as I'm saying, the demo we have, the prototype we have, I'm sure it can run on CPU and on the devices that we have right now. So you see, it's not compression per se, it's something else. So
you obviously don't want to spill your secrets, but talk to me in terms of users, because compression is a service that is out there. It's a software. It's an online service where I upload my file and then it's compressed. In terms of the users of Nilefy, who is the target market? Who will be using it most? Who will it help most? Is it businesses, streaming services? Is it the user who doesn't have, as you said, you're solving access to internet? In terms of users,
like as I said, like through failing and learning, I learned that whenever you want to build a business, you don't start by building a business. You start by finding someone who has a pain point that is causing so much pain to them, then you solve it. And that's the approach. If you have a video on your phone, I'm sure every new phone has a lot of storage. You don't care about how big the video is. But when you're streaming, you're using internet, and mobile data is still expensive almost everywhere. So, and everyone is using mobile. So you see, on the side of the user, if you solve the streaming, like how they consume the video, you're solving a real pain to them. And on the side of the service, the company that is delivering the service, if you solve it, so I think now you get how we are solving it.
So it's more of on both ends.
Yeah, on both ends. Like we are not building something that you are going to upload a video and you compress. No, we want to build an end-to-end pipeline that bridge that gap between the company that is delivering the service and the consumer. And we make sure on both ends we solve the pain.
Is this something that's going to be integrated into, already existing platforms, or is it, something completely?
That's the idea. Like we are not building our own streaming platform. Like we want to help existing or new people want to stream online and provide that solution.
Interesting. So in terms of, what are your projections? What does the future look like for Nilefy? You said you already have an existing prototype. So are you prepared? Are you preparing a go-to-market plan? Is it something that we're going to be seeing launched anytime soon? What are your projections? We are entering 2026. So.
Actually, I learned that it's easy to think 10 years ahead and say this is going to be big, but the devil is always in the detail, how you implement every day. So I would not say I have a plan after, I have an idea, a vision after that. But by 2026, I would like to have maybe 2 or 3 companies using what we built. That's by the end of 2026. It's not like we are still in R&D. I'm going to focus on it in 2026. It will be my main quest. So I don't want to stay in R&D for 5 years. I want to build something and have at least 3 companies using it. So if it's 3 companies and they have a good number of users, it's affecting a lot of people. So yeah, that's the goal.
Now, what does expansion look like for you? If you envision, you said the devil is in the details. What does expansion look for you? What does success for Nilefy look like?
Actually, don't think yet at the point I would think about the expansion. I'm at the point, I'm thinking video is this industry where you need to patent ideas and do a lot of things. So I'm still at the point where I'm figuring out how to get this dirty prototype to a usable MVP, a usable product. So I'm not thinking about expanding. I'm thinking about getting it to someone to integrate it in their platform and say, this is solving the pain we had. And then after that, we will see how it goes.
So you're looking to have it being something that is usable?
Yeah, usable. That's what I'll say. And sooner, not after 5 years, not 10 years. Usable on the phone you have now, not a new phone that will come in 2030. No, usable sooner, next year.
So next year you want this to be a product that is usable?
Yes.
All right. Now, so what are you intentionally not doing yet? Is it something that, are you intentionally not hiring yet? Or in terms of thinking of the expansion of Nilefy, what are you reserving? And then talk us through the plan of how, you're planning to, once we have the product ready, this is what we're going to do next.
As I said, I've learned that when you're doing business, it's great to have a vision, and then everything you do this today, you learn, you continue. Because somehow measuring yourself against your vision will crush you because you're dreaming big, but you're not grounded.
Yeah.
So right now, actually we are just 2 people working on Nilefy.
Yeah.
And I don't think the team will be so big. We can even deliver something that's workable without the team being 50 people. So I'm not worried about us being big, as I said. I'm worried about us getting something usable, and that may require funding. Maybe I'm thinking about that. But right now, my focus is getting something usable, someone or a company uses it, and then we see how it goes. As I said, I failed a lot. Now, it's not like I hate failing or I'm afraid to fail, but it's like I found a framework that keeps you going even if what you're working on is hard. Find something you want to do. If you want a customer, focus on that. Once you find the customer, now your goal is to make them happy, solve the problem. Once it's solved, you're like, okay, now this is solved. It doesn't have to scale. You don't have to say, now I can solve it for 1,000 customers. Solve it for one person or one company. Once you solve it, everything else will take care of itself. So that's the model I use now. Like through the years, I learned that that's what works. Like I'm not thinking about scaling or anything. Like I want to build something, one company can use it. Maybe we expand it to 3 by the end of next year. If it works, yeah, that will be successful the first year or the second year.
Now, we are heading towards the end, and you know, we've talked so much about your journey and everything that led to Nilefy. What lessons did you take? Something, if someone is watching out there and you know they're inspired by your journey, because your journey is inspiring.
Is it?
Up to this, yeah, it is quite. Coming from someone who is sitting here and listening to all of that, the failure and that persistence. You personally, how did that impact you? You know, your mentally and that ability to always be persistent. What lessons did you learn that you think, well, this is something that I'm going to be doing, you know, moving forward. This is something that's going to shape anything that I do.
Sometimes people say follow your passion and everything. For me, my passion is solving problems. I tend to run towards them. The biggest reason I learned solving problems is to have a vision that's so big, it's going to scare you, but every morning, just do something small. Don't go out there preaching big ideas, and then you stay in that big idea bubble. Like, solve something small every day. Now, even if I don't see progress, I'm like, as long as I'm solving the problem for someone, I'll keep doing it. So I think that's what I learned along the way.
So step by step.
Yes, small steps every day.
I think a lot of times we often try to, you know, do the bigger, and we always, you know, forget that every small gradual step towards something big eventually gets there.
Yeah, it's like movies and stories glorify the vision. But the funny thing is, whenever you look back, you don't see the vision. When you're looking back, it's like some small steps and a lot of luck along the way. Connected, it becomes this big vision. But yeah, when you're tearing it, you're like, yeah, I wake up one day, I had this big idea, and then
so do you think, you know, a lot of people always say that the most interesting thing is rather the journey, not the destination. So for you,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the journey. Like what I learned is I have to enjoy every step, even the most frustrating ones. Like solve one problem at a time, make sure you're improving along the journey. The vision will take care of itself, I would say. Yeah. And don't worry about failing. Like fail often, but learn and continue.
Yeah, I was watching something the other day, and someone said that we learn a lot more from failure than in success. So
yeah, I agree.
It's quite important.
I agree.
Yeah. Now we are heading towards the end. Where can someone find you if they are interested in this and they want to know more beyond the conversation that we've had? They want perhaps to, you know, partner up.
I use LinkedIn a lot for connection, even if people hate it, it's cringe. But yeah, I use it a lot.
It is very cringe. Everyone is excited to share.
Yeah,
thrilled to announce.
Yeah. So, but I use it a lot, so you can send me a DM there, or just shoot me. Like when you go to nilefy.com, you can reach out to me on the info or my personal email. So now there.
So thank you very much for an interesting conversation, and good luck with Nilefy.
Thank you, David.